So good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and tonight I'm joined by Joe and Bryan. They're from the band Mythologic, which is a band that mixes thrash, death metal, and I heard classic heavy metal all in one. And they're releasing their full debut album in June 14th. It's called Blood in the Sky. So, guys, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Hector.
Yeah,
Nice.
doing awesome, man. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, no, of course. So I listened to the album. So it's pretty cool. And so for people that don't know the band, you guys are based in Texas. Bryan, I read that you've been in countless bands and you're, you play multiple instruments. And actually, you play all the instruments on this record, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. And I have a history of like doing a solo project where I do everything, all instruments and vocals. So it's kind of no stranger to me to handle that much. And in my prior bands, I've even done some of the writing for the other instruments, even though we've played as a full band. So it's not really anything out of the ordinary for me per se, but it's kind of part of my process that I liked, even in a full band atmosphere, I like to be able to present my vision clearly. So
Yeah, nice. But thankfully you have Joe with the vocals here, and Joe has a quite like a high. He can have like the high pitch range, a la Judas Priest.
yeah.
Because there's all
Thank
this.
you. I'm honored.
Yeah, well, the high pitch, that like not everyone
Yeah.
can do that. So tell us a little bit about you guys, about how this project got initiated.
I'll take this one. It kind of started a little bit by accident. And so I want to say it was 2023, maybe early in the year. And I was just kind of like hitting kind of a bit of depression and down spell where I wasn't getting much done, but I had been working on what was supposed to be like a kind of a double disc solo album. And it was a whole lot of material I had sitting around with music, but no vocals. I was starting to lose the inspiration to finish it from my initial vision. And Joe hit me up randomly just one day, and he was asking about doing a guest vocal. He'd heard some of my previous releases, and I'd heard of him and his band Valkyrie from back in the day. And so he messaged me and he's like, hey, if you need any guest vocals, I'd be down. And so I thought about it for like the next day or so. And I was like, just thinking to myself, I got all this music sitting here. So I just sent him a whole song and I said, do whatever you want to it. Let's just see what happens. And he sent it back within like 2 days, completed. He's like, hey, here's the tracks. Do whatever you need. And so I sat down to mix it for another day or two. And that song ended up being the opening track on the EP, Across Again. Mm-hmm. And I was just blown away by what he did to it. And it was so shocking to hear his vision of what he hears to the music compared to what I would hear if I was going to do vocals was kind of night and day. And I was like, this is so interesting. Mm-hmm. And it intrigued me to want to do more. So I had messaged him. I said, hey, dude, I fucking love this. Let's turn it into a new project and see where we go from here. And he said, hell yes. So I sent him a second song, and I sent him a third song and a fourth song. And then we just kept going and going and going. We never actually stopped writing all the way through the full length. We just decided at some point to put out an EP to get our foothold once we had a name in mind, and save the rest of the songs for a full length. So it was always our plan to do the EP first, get the name out there, get some solid a bit of a fan base, and then unleash the full length.
Awesome. And how did you came up like the inspiration for the name?
We had a couple names floating around. I'd asked Joe to start kind of making a list of possible names, and I want to say we had 5 or 6 on the board at that point. And I think I had sent him this name, or shoot, I can't remember. It might have been like late at night one night, and I started just making the logo for it, like kind of jumping ahead of myself. And so the next morning I was like, hey, what do you think of this name? I kind of already was like doing a logo, and he was like, that's pretty cool. And then it was like, well, we still were kind of open to changing it, but then I kept fucking with the logo, and then I got the logo done, and I was like, I really like this logo. And so we just kind of like, let's say this is it and move on, and let's move forward, because we both were good with it.
Nice. What was the runner-up name?
Shoot, I don't even remember. Do you remember, Joe?
No. Once we decided on Mythologic, man, just all the other 4 just went right out of our heads real quick.
I had a notepad with them on there, but I probably have deleted it by now, because I was like, inconsequential at this point.
Nice.
Exactly.
So you guys, so you released the EP last year, for people to get to know you. How's I know I've interviewed some bands from Texas. There's obviously people will, like when I think of Texas, the first band that pops into my mind was Pantera, like growing up, because they were like very Texas. So right now, what's that metal scene like in Texas?
Oh man, the death metal scene is popping. There's just so many bands, and there's a lot of really good bands.
Creeping Death is one that's pretty.
Creeping Death. I think they're from Dallas.
Yeah.
But there's so many bands I couldn't even like think of them off the top of my head. This scene is just, there's more talent than there are fans to appreciate the talent, is all I can say.
That is very sad.
Sadly, it's a sad truth, but I mean, you go to these shows and sometimes you're watching some of these local bands that are just killing it, and then there's like, maybe 40 to 50 people in the crowd when there should be 500.
I can totally relate. Like here in Puerto Rico, like we have some cool bands, but the same thing. It's not the type of music that everyone here likes, but yeah, we have some cool music too. So now you're releasing the full-length record, which is called Blood in the Sky, and you did the artwork too. Is this artwork, did you use AI for this?
I'm not gonna lie, part of it is AI, because I am an artist. I do graphic design for years. I've done arts from scratch, and when the AI started popping up, I was intrigued on how I could make it work as an artist as part of my process, because everybody's complaining about people making it easy, typing in a prompt, and this is my artwork.
Especially with the last Dayside album, there was like a huge controversy on that one.
I am against people using it in certain ways, but I don't think that we're going to find a time where it's going to go away. So
my logo is AI generated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, so I wanted to find a way to use it in a way that made me as an artist feel like I'm not cheating. I don't know how much difference that really makes in the end, but Joe has seen how it escalated from the original process and how many details and other things I added. I've pretty much painted over 90% of the original image, all the faces on there, the background, all that's human element. So
nice. Yeah, so you combined it to a way that's part that is not everything. Yeah, like there's part of you in there.
Yeah, and I kind of wish that that's the way that people could see how it could be used. I don't think that people can envision it as a tool in the process, and it might never be able to be seen that way. But I want to use it in a way, to me, that's productive or to help me be more productive, but also still using my skills that I've been building in the art realm, in the design realm.
Yeah, no, and if you're a graphic designer, you know you're passionate about this as well. So tell me a little bit of like what you're going for with this album cover.
So actually, we didn't really have an album name. So with every song we did for the album, I was trying to kind of make an art to coincide with it. And so I have artworks for pretty much every song on the album. And when we got to this song, it was one of the last couple that we did. And this artwork started in many different forms as I was playing around with the AI to get an idea of what I wanted. But I was using that Blood in the Sky title, the theme of the song about angels battling in the sky, and just
that
blood.
opens that opens the album.
Yes. And that also, the track order wasn't set in stone for a long time, but that song, I just felt it encompassed everything that this album has as a whole in one song. And that's why it seemed to me this artwork was the most standout artwork of all the ones I made. And the title was prominent to the entire storyline. And the song itself, I felt like as a first song on the album is what I want people to hear. So that's kind of how it all came together, is just, it just seemed right. And then I spent a whole bunch of more hours on the art after that point. Once I knew it was going to be the front cover, I spent a whole bunch of extra time on details to really make it better than any of the other arts.
Yeah, no, awesome. So yeah, no, it turned out pretty well. And you do a lot, you produce, you engineered. Bryan, is there something you can do?
I can't physically play drums. I did program the drums, but I have worked with many live drummer friends, and I've helped them program their real ideas, and they've helped me turn into a drummer in my brain, so I can fathom how a drummer thinks. And that's just the one thing I know I could do if I teach my muscles the memory, but I don't have any means to practice it. So until I have that chance to physically get that down, it's just going to have to be, me programming for a while.
Okay.
Sadly.
Well, you can't do everything, but or maybe teach Joe to drum, and he can be like like Phil Collins drumming and singing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I can't do those high vocals that Joe does, so he's a prerequisite for this band because it won't work without him.
No, yeah, the vocals. So you were mentioning before that there's is there like a concept to the album, because you were mentioning something about the story?
Joe, you handle that one.
Sure, sure thing. Every song on the album ties into each other, and basically the recurring theme throughout the whole album is Milton's Paradise Lost. It was a poem that I read as a youngster that fascinated by, and I like the different viewpoint than from the I was raised Roman Catholic, so just to hear a different viewpoint of the whole war in heaven and being casted out and everything. You got to kind of see the story from Lucifer's point of view, and always intrigued me. So when we started talking about the album, we want to keep it a little bit of a kind of a dark theme to it. So I said, hey, let's, so I approached Bryan and said, hey, let's, we wrote this one. I said, why don't we just kind of make it towards about the full battle in heaven with different players? Like Scorched Earth is about Behemoth, Dark Waters is about Leviathan, and just, let's do it from there. He's like, yeah, it's almost like a concept album, but loosely a concept album.
Okay, it's like maybe like a theme record.
Yes, there you go. Exactly. Instead of a tight restrictive concept, it's more of a theme.
From
and
Lucifer's
surprisingly,
side, so yeah,
the first song we wrote for the album was Fallen Empire, which is the most
different
that's the
8 minute. That's the longest track at 8 minutes and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, that was our first one. So talk about starting on the top of the mountain and going down.
Yeah, and that's one where you, Joe, go like with the whoop, like really high. Like
Yeah,
I
because
love when
I was
he does that almost like a growl when he's like falling.
yeah, like the growl, and then you go to the high pitch. So yeah, if you think about it from Lucifer point of view, it's the story about someone being evicted.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Exactly, and that's if you look at the lyrics to "Falling
He
Apart"
was
too, you can
evicted
see
from
where.
heaven.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes back and forth between sadness and rage and anger, and you can kind of see the lyrics and even the singing style of "Fallen Empire," just because we wanted to kind of capture that in that song. And like I said, Bryan presented me the music. I'm like, oh my god, it's so epic that I wanted to at least do it some justice. So that's why we pushed the boundaries a little bit with the vocals. I wanted to make sure that the lyrics were absolutely stellar for that track, just so that way to do it some justice.
Well, Joe, you made your bed, because now if you sing live, you have to pull this. You have to do this live too. You'll be like,
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, I could pull it off live, not a problem.
no, I'm sure you can, but yeah, but you're like, damn it, why do you have to do like a
So it's
super?
like, oh, wait a minute, I have to pull off this music live.
Yeah, yeah. I'm guessing that's something that, like, if you're in Dream Theater, I would think that, like, shit, I gotta play this 23-minute song. Like, can we write like 3-minute
Exactly.
songs, like, or something like that? So yeah, the album, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was fixing to say with Fallen Empire, it's amazing. It's an 8-minute song, but it goes by so fast. And even when you're, recording or performing it doesn't seem like it's that long. It just goes whoop, and you're like, oh crap, the song's over. Okay.
Yeah, and from Fallen Empire, I would guess, because the next song is called Satanael. Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Saint Tanel.
Satanel. Yeah, is that like the biblical name? I don't know, like if they called it that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, a lot of times, because if you read different religious books like the Book of Enoch and stuff like that, you'll see there are different fallen angels they're not mentioned in the typical King James version. So we wanted to put some other characters on the field too, basically. So it's just again, just curious mind, love to read, and just let's put this character into the picture.
And man, that's actually like one of my favorite songs on there. The riffs are just so catchy in that song.
That was more like flashier and a shorter track. But it's funny because all the falling of the angels, like my 4-year-old son told me the other day, he's going to a Catholic school, and he told me that he fell or came from heaven, and I was almost told him, so did Satan. Yeah, no. But yeah, no, I like it because I like the album has a great flow to it, and you even have an epilogue, like you bookend it, and the almost last track is Purgatorium, Purgatory, which is basically
right
a place between heaven and earth somewhere. So yeah, pretty interesting themes. Like what? So you're doing this theme, so you're reading. How much details of what you read you wanted to get into the lyrics?
A lot of it. And see, the other thing I do on the side, I write books. So already
nice.
7,
what type of books?
Fiction books.
Oh, good.
And one of them in particular, Azrael's Reign, deals a lot with the end of days and the fight between good and evil on the fields of Megiddo. So I did a lot of research for that. So that's where I got a lot of the I could pull from that knowledge of writing that book and put the lyrics into this album. And again, I just wanted to write enough to do the songs justice, because like I said, Bryan's a genius when it comes to making the music, stellar stuff, and I just wanted to make sure that I could keep up.
Yeah. So are your books on like can you like read, like can you do they online, because it would be like like on Spotify get books, it would be cool like you like reading chapter
I
Okay,
should
yeah,
do that. I could probably sell
we're gonna
more.
need the audiobook version.
Yeah, the
now.
audiobook version, like, woo!
There you go. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, no,
you will
yeah,
be
my
like,
books.
yeah, like reading is cool now.
Right, right. Yeah, no, they're available on Amazon. But yeah, actually, shit, you gave me a pretty good marketing idea.
Dude, you should totally do it. Like that.
Yeah, that'd be hysterical.
Like, because sometimes like audiobooks, I rather read, but
Yeah.
sometimes in life it's you have like kids, you have shit to do, and sometimes like
Yes.
audiobooks make sense. Like
Oh,
like
yeah.
like like I can just can imagine like reading like a book like that, and like you have to like do the voices and stuff.
Right, right. Yeah, there you go. I
And
like
if
it.
you don't want to pay anyone, you just do it yourself. Like you.
And,
Exactly.
and sometimes the best narrators that do audiobooks can do so many different voices, and they make that experience very cool.
Yeah.
So sometimes the audiobook depends on how good that person is that's recording it.
Like if you're doing an
for
audiobook
sure.
for Lord of the Rings, I want the actor who's like, my precious, like
Right,
it's
right.
not I'm like, oh no, like, because it's like, then he said my precious. No, do the Gollum voice. Like there's no way. I actually, I'm talking about, I read there's another Lord of the Rings coming. I'm like, I thought it was over. Didn't they like destroy the ring? What else is there
What
to
is it?
tell?
The Search for Golem or something like
Yeah,
that?
I'm like, was that an actual book, or are they making shit up now?
I think they're making shit up.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's a money grab. Yeah.
oh, like
Maybe it'll be cool. Maybe.
I would have put the Lord of the Rings Weekend at Gollum's.
Like Weekend at Bernie's, but
Like
he's
Weekend
like,
at
Exactly.
they just carry his corpse around.
Yeah, they're carrying Gollum.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would totally see that shit. So
right, me too.
Yeah, so yeah, no, it's awesome. So man, you write books, you do a lot of stuff. Like yeah, and it's good. Like, what if you write books? Like, do you find like writing shorter lyrics for songs is harder?
Not at all. Not at all. Basically, a song is just a shortened, condensed version of a book. Because if you look at
like
even
a poem,
the album, every song tells a story, and they all connect to tell one big story at the very end. So basically, writing books is just like writing lyrics to a song.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. So on this album, like for you guys, like which song was the hardest to create, maybe musically or lyrically?
Let me say musically, I do think Fallen Empire, I held dear to my heart musically, and it was written long time ago, like 2019. I wrote that song.
Oh, wow.
Before we planned this project, it has been sitting around, and it was meant as a solo song for one of my solo albums. And I released 2 albums since then, and I just never felt it was the right time to put it out. I couldn't mentally get in the right mindset to do vocals to it, because the music to me was perfect. It was 100% perfection in my eyes, and maybe I was intimidated to sing on it myself, and maybe that's why I sat on it. I'm not too sure. But even when I sent it to Joe, I was like, I'm not sure if this song's gonna work or not, but I want to give you a shot at it, and just do whatever you feel like the music is telling you to do, and we'll just see what happens. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And he spent the most time in between me sending him a song to sending it back was that song. And when he sent it back, though, I was blown away, and I was like, man, I'm glad that I saved it for this project, because it feels perfect.
Yeah, you went with your gut feeling, and it paid off. Yeah, because and it's like the tipping point of the album, because it's like almost at the middle. So you have it like it's like a transition to the second part of like when like Satan gets booted out. So yeah, it flows so well for that. So So the album is gonna be out like roughly in a month, in June the 14th. Like, where can people pre-order the record?
We have it right now on our Bandcamp page, which would be mythologic.bandcamp.com. Or I have it also on my personal Brian Eckerman Bandcamp also. I have all my albums of all my projects on there, so I like to make sure that every person who follows me for one project can find my other stuff all in one spot if needed. And we have merch on both of those sites. We have CDs for pre-order. We got these artwork patches in right here.
Oh, I saw the pages on your Instagram. Yeah, they
Yeah,
look pretty
and
cool.
I made these little postcards to put in each order. So it's got all the albums on the back.
Yeah.
And we got some logo patches done. We added a shirt site that is like a print to order site, but they do really good quality. So if people really do want some shirts, we knew we really couldn't afford bulk ordering. So we wanted to make them available if somebody wants them.
No.
And so there's a couple
That's
designs.
That's how I do my shirts too.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's the only option you have because there's not always a big fan base or a lot of desire, but you don't want to let the people down that do want it. So even if it's 10 people that want a shirt, you want to make it available and you don't want to lose so much money in the process. So it's what we had to do until things grow bigger, and hopefully they do grow bigger. But for now, that's available if somebody does want it. And the CDs I'll ship out myself, or I'm going to have Joe have some copies too. And the patches, those will come from us.
Yeah, the patches, like I don't know, I'm kind of like a bad metalhead. I've never worn those the jackets. I just don't like.
You're talking to the guy that's all I do. I buy patches.
I've just never been into wearing like a vest because I don't know. Whenever I go to a show and I see them, I just think of the Boy Scouts.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I've never. I have nothing against them, but I wouldn't be caught dead.
Hey, you know what though? Right now, I've noticed that the world of metal patches is bigger than it ever has been because there are some great companies out there printing amazing patches.
Yeah, I would put it like on a different. I would put it, but not on my. I wouldn't get a vest.
Yeah,
but they look.
Well,
cool.
I mean, I've seen people do patches on backpacks, patches on their hat, patches on shorts, patches on their cargo pants. Like there's all kinds of different things that people are doing. Or there was one person that posted it in a group which I thought was super cool. So they made a table and they bought like 50 something patches and then they sealed the table with like a glass covering.
Wow.
And that's cool.
So it's a table with patches underneath it. It looks cool as fuck.
Yeah. Like what I did with my CDs, like I took the covers out and I did like a collage and I put it on a wall and it looked cool with all the artwork.
Yeah, that's really cool too.
Yeah. So like, hey, we metalheads, we're nerdy at heart.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. So we've learned today that metalheads write books too. Yeah. Yeah. For people like, and those books sound interesting. Like so yeah, I love reading fantasy books. Right now I haven't been able to read a lot, but I remember a few years ago I read like this sci-fi drama that it was like this guy that died, but they put his like memories on a body, and then there was war. I think it was called the Bobby Verse or something like that. His name was Bob, and it was kind of funny and but cool at the same time. And it's like a series of 4 books or something like that. So Joe, for people who are where can they get your books, Joe?
Amazon.com. It's under my name, Joe Gregory.
Joe Gregory. Okay, I'll check it out, man. I like to read as well.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So so now the album is coming out on the 14th. Do you have like do you have plans to play this music live at some point?
So we've been talking about that, and Joe's already hit up a couple festivals. to see if maybe we can get on one. I really don't want to do anything small with this band. I
Okay.
feel like it's go big or nothing. So, because it will take a lot of effort to get some fill-in musicians for drums, bass, and if we need to set up some backing tracks for keyboards or hire a keyboardist, it is no small endeavor. And it's not that we can't do it, but we need something significant to push that forward. So in the meantime, it's gonna just come down to the interest of the album. If we get good response, and if things are growing really fast, we get offers to do bigger things, then definitely it's something that we can and will push forward to. But if the interest isn't really there, then we might just have to write 2 or 3 more albums to keep climbing up until it gets to that point, which we will, regardless of if live shows happen in the near future or not. We're going to keep pushing forward with music, and I have no doubt that at some point it'll grow to there and we can get the opportunity we're looking for.
Yeah. Hopefully, people can, because I like this will sound great and people could get into it. So we're almost at the halfway year of the year. Like any albums that you're currently spinning, like new or old?
Oh man, I've been loving that new Judas Priest. That's been on a constant spin for me. I'm a big Judas Priest fan,
The
and that
dude
new one
is
does
like
not let down. And also Bruce Dickinson's new album is fantastic, way better than the last few Iron Maiden albums.
I didn't like the Bruce Dickinson record.
You didn't?
I don't know.
No, especially I did an album review for it, and I said that the last song sounded like an Aladdin song from Disney.
No. I don't know. Like, I've always liked his solo stuff, and I'd say the album, the way it starts, isn't the greatest flow, but once it really gets into it, it really, for me, it hit like just like I wanted.
Yeah,
but I can understand if it's like.
But the Judas Priest one, like Rob Halford at 70, is he 73 or something?
Yeah. I don't know, but he sounded better than he ever has somehow.
Yes.
It's crazy how good they sound and how much that album hits on every level. Yeah, that's
man, Richie Faulkner just shreds on guitar. Like it is just mind blowing for me as a guitarist. I'm listening to what he's doing and seeing videos, and I am just like, how? I don't know. I mean, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I'm the same way with Halford's singing. Wow, I mean, I'm jaw dropping when I listen to the whole thing. I can't believe at that age he's still hitting those notes. He is God for sure.
Yeah, no, and the songs are like they've been on a roll the last few albums.
They're good.
Power and this one. The only album from them, there's a few maybe, but like Nostradamus was one that was too long.
Oh, I actually love that album.
Yeah, no, but you know what? I'm
always the one defending it. I'm like, oh, I love it.
No,
it's so like dramatic.
Brian, fear not. I do a series called "Is It That Bad?" and we did an episode for that album, and with the lead singer from a band called Drifting to Black was on that one. It's like he's a cool band, you know. Like a doom metal band, and we actually saved that record. We said we didn't thought it was like it can be like too long at times, but it's you know, it's still.
I'd say that there's probably a couple songs that could go more from the second disc. The first disc is pretty solid throughout, and the second disc has some good songs, but it does drag just a bit.
Yeah,
but I just love how daring they were to do something like that. Everybody just wants their old rock songs, and they went and did this big opus with orchestra sounds and drawn out interludes. And I was just like, what is going on? But I love concept albums, and they hit me right in the heart with that one.
Yeah, no, it was. It's good that they take chances. So guys, you know, it's been nice chatting with you on this Saturday night. This is what we do. We talk about books, we talk about Satan.
There you go.
But yeah. and stuff. It's a great Saturday night. So, what
It
do you?
is.
Yeah, before we go, what do you want to tell to the fans, or maybe people that don't know the band but to get into you? Like, what would you tell them?
I would say if they're wanting a bit of old and a bit of new in a brand new combination, I don't feel like there's one band that I've ever heard that sounds like Mythologic in my eyes. And I listen to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bands, and I put all my influence into the music, and Joe's got a separate bit of influence, and the weird combination of what we do works so well somehow. And I think it can capture fans of not only classic heavy metal but death metal, black metal, symphonic metal. I think we have a bit of everything that somebody can like if they just give us the chance.
Nice.
Agreed.
And maybe Joe, maybe someone. I hope you don't get like a misery that someone that buys your book and then becomes your biggest fan, like that Stephen King.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Then they'll have to hire security, and then we won't be able to do live shows. Yeah, we can't have that.
And you'll be like, I saw you in an interview. And you'll be like, damn it. That'd
be a nice
great
problem.
Our goal is to get him on Oprah's book list. That's the goal.
Oh, that would be outstanding, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think Oprah will watch this, but like
hey, never know, she might be a closet metal fan.
Yeah, you never know. So people,
you never know.
Mythologic, the album will be out on the 14th. You can pre-order it. It's self-released on Bryan's own record label. It's Bonespill, right?
Yeah.
Bonespill Records. So I'll put the link for everyone who wants to pre-order on Bandcamp and everything and wants to follow the band there. So I want to thank Bryan and Joe for taking some time of their night to chat with me here virtually from Texas to Puerto Rico about the band, the album, and everything in between. So thank you guys. And so until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.